We're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another evening of a Wrestling with the Future. I'm your host, Mad Dog DeCipio, joined, as I am each and every week, by the Pitbull, Amelia Pitbull Chapman. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm feeling a little rough around the edges tonight.
Uh-oh.
It could be a dangerous thing, but I'm liking it.
All right.
I
Me
am.
too.
I'm liking it a lot. Tonight, we are going to have an interesting show. I've got a couple of really unique characters tonight. We're going to talk about the changing role of the wrestling manager, and take some prolific examples of what managers were and what they are now. But we have a couple of really interesting people tonight. I want to get right to it and introduce them. So as always on the show, ladies first. Brenda Lee Magdich is, and I hope I'm saying that right, Magdich, right?
Magdichs.
There you go. Brenda works at the Legends Pro Wrestling and is the owner of Brenda's Beauty and Cosmetics. Her wrestling persona is that of the mysterious Miss Mystique Martel, and she is the
Welcome.
manager of Indy star Allan Decker, Mr. 8x10.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
There you go. And Jesse Green, JL Green, is the owner of JL Green and Associates and professional wrestling at Voltage Wrestling. He is a sometimes actor in low-budget independent films. His sword-wielding persona of Captain Decapitate is one half of our special guest tonight. That said, welcome to the show, Captain and Mystique. How are you?
Welcome to the show, sir.
Great to be here. Great to be here, I guess. We'll find out.
We'll find out. So let's talk about the changing role of the wrestling manager. I found you guys some time ago. You don't know it, but I troll you for a little while before I bring you onto the show. That's what I know. And Amelia knows how I work. I stalk people. I troll them.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he's that one that sneaks up behind you and
throw away. Absolutely. And what struck me immediately about Brenda is that you look like a normal person, which already tells me there's something wrong with you. Okay. So tell me, how the hell does a fairly decent, fairly average, beautiful woman like yourself get wrapped up into the world of pro wrestling with these misfits and malcontents? Why leave the world of beauty and cosmetics?
Well, I grew up watching wrestling and everything, and I've always loved it. And when I had the opportunity to do it,
Yeah.
I took that chance because you only get that chance once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And
If
I chose
you're
to
lucky,
take my
you do,
chances.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I grew up here in the Northeast, and we had, of course, Vince McMahon Sr.'s Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Where did you grow up, and what was your first introduction to what you knew as wrestling?
Well, I grew up, I actually was born in New Martinsville, West Virginia, but I grew up in Cameron, West Virginia.
Interesting.
And when I went, excuse me?
I said it's interesting.
Yes. Well, the first thing happened is we were at SCWA, and they wanted, somebody to come to try out for a valet. Well, I stepped my foot into that spot. And after that, it's like I got more introduced to the wrestling with, the legendary pro wrestlers from off of TV. I got to be in the rings with a lot of them. And it's just something that I've always wanted to do. We're not going to get any younger. And I've always said that, life is the shortest there is, but it's also the longest there is to live.
Do you remember taking your first bump?
Well, yes.
Tell me about your first bump. Everybody has a first time.
Well, the first time, we really was in the ring with Marty Jannetty.
Marty. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Marty Jannetty.
I feel so bad for you, Brenda. I swear to God, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Oh
like,
my
oh
God,
wow, okay.
Marty. Oh,
Yeah,
Party
Marty
Hardy,
Jannetty.
Marty, please.
Hardy Marty. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know Marty a long time.
Yes.
Like 40 years worth of long. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Long
Yeah.
time. But I spent almost 48 years in this business. Okay. That I made my bones years ago, long time ago. And I know Marty. He's got a reputation precedes him. So that was your first time and you survived it? God bless.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Hang in there. We're going to come back to
you. You have to hang in there.
Yeah. You're going to hang in there.
We'll just go with it.
I'll have Amelia go easy on you. And Captain Decapitate. You know, it's been said that everybody loves a pirate. People hate clowns, but they love pirates. Interestingly enough, more people are frightened of clowns and gravitate toward pirates. That you would think would be the opposite way. A pirate is kind of a scary figure, but people are petrified of clowns.
I think a pirate would protect me over a pirate. Mm-hmm.
Amelia?
Yes.
Found myself a pirate.
Yes, thank you.
Captain Decapitate.
Yes, please protect me over clowns. I'm scared of clowns. Thank you.
Yep.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't wear that outfit tonight. Glad you warned me.
Yeah, man.
She'd jump through the screen if you had on a clown outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You got one. I mean, it could be brutal sometimes too. So, so let's talk. How does Jesse Green become Captain Decapitate? Where does that even begin?
How much time do you have?
I got all the time you want, brother. We got no time limit on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'll make it as short as I can. I've been a wrestling fan.
Look, I love a good story, Jesse. Take your time, bro.
Okay. I've been a wrestling fan since I'm 71 years old. And I've been a wrestling fan since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I remember WWF back when it was just on a little, in fact, I grew up pretty poor. I'd have to walk like a half mile to my grandparents' house because we didn't have a TV. And on Saturday mornings, and I'd watch I watch it on a little, probably, boy, looking back on it, maybe a little 15-inch, 16-inch black and white TV, and that's back when they had the one camera, and that was it.
Yep.
What's funny too is I found out that a lot of that back in those days was taped at the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to work at the Hamburg Fieldhouse, which is kind of cool. I'm working now where I watched all those years ago with my grandfather. And so
that's a lot of history in that building, brother.
Oh man. Yeah, and it still has the lights up that the McMahons put up. And when you think you walk out there and all the big names that have walked out into that,
oh my God,
into that squared circle, it's unbelievable. And then the other cool thing I like about the Hamburg Fieldhouse is whenever I do a show up there, when I can, I try to set my merch table up where Roddy Piper used to have Piper's Pit.
Oh.
And the way I know that's where it's at is because the famous Shawn Michaels throwing what's his name through the that was the barber shop, wasn't it? Oh no, I know what I'm thinking of when Piper hit Snuka with the coconut.
The coconut, yeah,
and it knocked down the back of Piper's pit.
Yeah, knocked the set down. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the loading dock, and they only have one loading dock.
It was right. Yeah, it was right behind the set. Yeah, sure it was.
Yeah. And so I try to set up there so I know where I'm set up at.
Yeah.
So fast forward best I can. Oh, probably going on 20 years ago now. I've been a Jimmy Buffett fan all my life, and Jimmy Buffett tailgating is unbelievable. I mean, if we get there at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock concert that night.
That night, yeah.
And I just got tired of setting up tiki bars and all of that, and decided probably close to 20 years ago now that I wanted to be an authentic pirate. And when I started out the outfit, I didn't want a Halloween costume. I wanted authentic looking stuff.
Yeah.
And I probably have $5,000 in the whole outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And so did the tailgating with him. Oh geez, somewhere along the line, I went to a Kenny Chesney concert. Kenny got me up on stage. I've been on stage now 4 times with Kenny, and I did let me think. An actress from DC contacted me and wanted to do a photo shoot with me. At the time, she was big into steampunk. Right. And so, sure. And we hit it off at the photo shoot. And she said, you need to be in the movies. So I said, hook me up. So this was probably, I got to at some point write down all these dates, because I do so many podcasts. And I'm sure if you look at every one, I say, no, it was 6 years ago. No, that was 7 years ago. No,
right,
I think somewhere around 6 years ago, she got me into a movie called MILFs versus Zombies. And at a 1-day shoot, I was a pirate zombie. And I guess I did so well, they had me back for 10 other days, and I played 10 other zombies. And that was of course, they had to make me, look
shit, that's funny.
His face is pretty, it's you're going to know it if you see it again.
Fucking hilarious.
And so that was something like 60 movies ago now.
Oh my goodness.
And I've tried to get away from the horror genre, because it's an endless, you get into that genre and that's all you do is slasher film.
Oh God, sure.
Oh,
and I've tried to get away from that. And I've got most of them independent movies. I've been extras in a few Hollywood movies, but when you're an extra, you're just filling a seat.
Are you registered with AFTRA and Screen Actors Guild?
Pardon?
Are you registered with AFTRA and Screen Actors Guild?
No, I'm not. I'm not qualified yet, and in this area, it's probably best not to join. Because if you join, then you got to write and get an exception to be in an independent movie.
Yeah, sure do.
And there's just not that much SAG work around here.
Not anymore, no.
I'd like to be a member of SAG someday, maybe, like the year before I die, just so I die and I say I was a SAG member.
Nowhere. You can be around for a little while, trust me.
Well, I hope so. I was just at doctor's yesterday, and I got a pretty good bill of health, I guess, for 71.
So, I believe, and me and I have talked about this. I believe really firmly and deeply that people in wrestling become the characters that they're supposed to be based on what's already inside them. So it doesn't surprise me that Brenda is this sorceress, this Mystique. It surprises me not at all that Jesse Green is Captain Decapitate, Pirate at Large. I really believe that. It's wrestling is all about your personality turned up to 11. And you have to be that person in order to pull off what they're pulling off.
Especially when the crowd gets going.
I want to talk about the changing roles of exactly what's going on in wrestling. So we're finding now that wrestlers used to be the showpiece, the mouthpiece. They would generally make a little noise, and then once their guy got in the ring, or girl, as the case may be, they would stay off to the side. They maintain a little decorum. Once in a while, they throw a little cheap trick in, just to make it a little interesting. But they generally mind their own business, right? Not now. Managers now are full bore.
Mm-hmm. I like that they're a part of the act. I love that because it gets the crowd going more and it gets the crowd more interesting and
Well,
the crowd more
as an example of it, Amelia,
mm-hmm.
and so we love to do something that we call show and tell.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love having my guests here to do show and tell. Let's take a look at this. This is, by the way, all photos are public domain. No copyright infringement is intended. All photos included are given apt credit the producers. Okay. Paul Heyman, a guy who went from owner to manager to now working backstage. My personal favorite manager, the Grand Wizard, a man who I met many times and have a picture with him, classy Freddie Blassie. I showed that photo 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Mr. Paul Ellering, former wrestler turned manager, is better known as a manager than wrestler. Of course, Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart. Did have Megaphone Will Travel. The incomparable, nobody ever be like him, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mm-hmm. And talk about often imitated and never duplicated, the one and only Captain Lou Albano. Again, one-time wrestler and now manager. Bobby Davis, the manager of the great Buddy Rogers. Here's a face for you only mother could love. Mr. Jim Cornette. Gotta love Jim. There's Elizabeth. Talk about female managers. Mm-hmm. One of the very first, in fact. Slick. By the way, Slick is going to be doing a signing live on Facebook for Think Inc. Collectibles. Sherry Martel. Her best friend lives across the street, literally from me right now. Sir Oliver Humperdinck, another guy known as a wrestler that became a manager. And, of course, Mr. Paul Bearer, otherwise known as Bill Moody, the late Bill Moody. So, and yes, we want to give credit. WWE photo credits given to Steve Taylor. Indy photo credits given to Eric Rosen. And all others are in the public domain. There is number one. Let's take a look at our guest tonight. Again, show and tell. Here, Jesse Green looks more like a preacher than a pirate. This probably in more subdued times, Jess.
Well, I was about to get killed in that movie.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. I said he looks more like he's praying.
I took a birthday cake in the face there.
What was going on in that photo? You were covered in all kinds of muck and mire.
Yeah, I took a birthday cake in the face.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Okay. I was going to say, I got to ask him about that. It looks like somebody waffled you with something big time. So you got this thing about younger women. I don't know if it's the captain living the gimmick, or is it have camera will travel?
Probably the captain living the gimmick.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Is that during our Gasparilla event that we have here in Florida?
Pardon?
Is that during our Gasparilla events that we have here in Florida?
No, this is down in Key West.
Oh.
I have to ask you, who is this young lady? Because you look fairly normal in this photo.
That's one of my best friends. We went to see Celtic Woman.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I had to kind of look normal.
That was a great show, by the way. So
my God.
Show.
I've been a fan of them for 10, 12 years, and fantastic.
You got this pirate / rock and roll, rock and roll rebel thing going on. What inspired your outfit?
And I tell you, it actually just got put together years ago, piece by piece. And
literally just like finding a piece here and
there,
really.
And one of the last things that I bought, well, yeah, I did a movie with Jimmy.
Jimmy's a very dear friend of mine. In fact, I'm in his book.
Are you?
Yeah.
He's a super guy.
Yeah. Oh, I know Jimmy 37 years now. 30 years, probably 30 years now.
It's funny. He can still turn on the old Boogie Woogie Man.
Man.
He wants to.
You got to hear the promo that he did for us. But go onto our our website, man, he cut us a promo that was just classic Boogie. It was just beautiful. It's interesting. When I saw that photo initially, I thought to myself that Jesse is looking an awful lot like Cheech Marin from Cheech and Chong. You know?
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
my manager that I study is Lou Albano.
Okay.
I like his character.
Interesting. Now we get to Brenda. Now, Brenda, you got to tell me who this young man is with you.
That is the King of Legends, the one that I manage, Mr. 8x10.
Is that Allan Decker?
Yes, sir, that is. That's
Allan will be a guest on the show in the upcoming weeks. He'll probably be here. He's going to be here sooner than he knows. I got news for you. Like, he doesn't know it. And I hope, Allan, that you're watching the show tonight, because you're my guest on Thursday night, whether you know it or not.
Where is Allan from?
He lives, he's originally from Wielding, West Virginia. And right now he lives in Bridgeport, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Because there's the guy that lives right next door to me is Allan Decker. And he used to be a professional wrestler here in the Hagerstown area.
Oh, that's
and I couldn't see that picture very well.
That's crazy. So you got to tell me, Brenda, what's going on in this picture we're watching right now?
Oh, that one there?
Yes.
Well, oh my God. Well, he was getting ready to lay the smackdown on some of their asses. It was a really, really good show that night. It was amazing. And of course,
let me ask you a question, Brenda. How much input do you have over your guy as he's working? Does Allan listen to you? It's because you're in a very different position. You're actually dating the person you're managing. So now everything's off the table now. So you're seeing this guy, you're dating him, then you're managing him. How much real influence do you have over him?
Well, I mean,
because I'm going to ask him Thursday.
A whole hell of a lot.
There you go.
There you go. Good answer.
A whole hell of a lot.
You got a Yahoo from Amelia on that.
That's
one.
right. He do as he's told.
Now, I want to ask you about what are you doing here? You look like you're supposed to be a manager, but you're getting involved here.
That's
now,
right.
what happened that you're getting involved in the match?
Well, I had to come in there and put the smackdown on that one guy's ass because that's what we were doing. Yes, I do get in the ring as well. And I do, a lot of my little things that I do as well. I've been known to smack them, knock them down, hit them. Yeah,
okay.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was
well deserved, right?
And I literally went in the ring.
Did anybody tell you, Brenda, that a manager is supposed to be seen, not heard?
No, she's gonna get in the ring. No.
You're supposed to be quiet and demure outside the ring.
No. Those days are over with. No.
We don't do that. This is 2022. This is the year of the manager.
No. Those are olden days. These
you
are.
got it right, Amelia.
That's
this
right.
is 2022.
Exactly.
And the women are out to kick some ass just as well as the men.
Well, we're actually going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
We're actually going to talk about that.
Great picture.
We're going to do it
right
after your slideshow is over. And here's Mr. 8x10. This is Allan Decker. He will be here. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be here Thursday night.
He does now because I think he's watching.
Is he watching the show now?
Yes, I'm quite sure he is. Yes.
Good. Right. He better be. Your girlfriend's on TV. Dummy, watch the show.
Right?
Yes,
That's one of his to-do things, right?
I hurried up and got home from work since 5 this morning. I've been out at work with the electric company. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't even know if I'm going to make it because I still was at work about 6 o'clock.
Now, you guys call yourselves the king and queen.
Yes.
So what is that title belt that he's holding? What's that all about?
That is the LPW Legends Pro Wrestling belt that he had won.
Okay, and who did he have to beat to get that championship strap?
Oh, my goodness. He beat so many people to get that. Marty Jannetty, Billy Busey.
Oh, Marty again. Listen, I got a 12-year-old niece that could beat Marty.
Mr. Hughes. We had, Mr. Bobby Fulton. I mean, many
Bobby
of them.
Fulton.
Yeah.
Bobby
Good
Fulton
old
is
Bobby.
75 years old. Curtis Hughes has to be 70.
I suppose I could say
Why
that.
are you beating up on old men? What the hell is going on with you, woman?
Well, if they're, let's just put it to you this way.
If they get in the ring, they're going to
get in that ring,
exactly.
Then, I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Well, apparently.
Literally.
Well, I'll tell you what. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's go back to the ladies and talk about this. In fact, I'm going to start with the cat. I'm going to start with Captain Capitate. We're going to talk about this a little bit. And then if you ladies want to chime in, I'm sure you will anyway, because I know Amelia can't keep her mouth shut.
Exactly, because you interrupt a lot.
Well, that's why you're here. So, Cap, let me ask you a question. You and I, as guys, have seen an increasingly visible presence of female managers in the last couple of years. Why do you think all of a sudden the women seem to be ruling the managerial roost?
I think it should have been that way all along. Why should we have all the fun?
Because we get things done. That's why.
Yeah.
And I agree.
I just think it's a shame that up at the upper level, WWE, AEW has some, but, WWE is just pretty much, other than Paul Heyman, there's nobody that's really a manager at that level,
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame. I think managers are a part of the wrestling business, Yeah.
It's interesting. Managers were considered at one time. First of all, let's talk about where managers came from. They were, at one point, managers were legitimate. That, a manager actually managed and handled the wrestler that he came out with. Perfect example of that is Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and Bobby Davis. Here he is. Allan Decker is in the chat room. And so, that was the thing back in the day. Wild Red Berry was the actual manager of the Australian Kangaroos. All of a sudden, then, around the early to mid 60s, we saw managers as characters, as part of, and I hate this term, but part of the show. Perfect example. Captain Lou Albano and Tony Altamore. They were called the Wild Civilians. But then when he wasn't wrestling, Captain Lou Albano was handling the Samoan, or he was handling the Valiant Brothers, or he was handling any number of people, including at one point superstar Billy Graham, until the illustrious Grand Wizard of Wrestling came up and took over. Funny thing about this, Captain, is that I don't see any sign of it slowing down. Say you what to this?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said I don't see any sign of the women slowing down as managers. What do you say to that?
No. And they can, I mean, I'm of the opinion that, you know, when I watch like WWE or AEW, I enjoy the women's matches a whole lot more than the men's matches. And you know, and the women as managers, I mean, they just bring something that we can't. You know.
Yeah. Interesting. So, Brenda,
Yes.
you've been in this now for a little bit. Now, how long you been? I'm assuming probably 7 to 10 years, somewhere around there.
No, actually, I've been in it going on 6 years.
6 years. I was close. I said 7 to 10.
You're good enough.
Well, okay. So, how do you feel your role as a manager is changing, given what you're seeing around you now? You heard what the captain have to say about it. So, what do you say to that now?
I just think with the role of a manager, I mean, you can get, there's all kinds of wrestling ladies, you know, but being a manager to me is a big part of, you know, managing a person that is this big wrestler and everything.
Yeah.
Because you can have a wrestling lady all that you want to, but you need a manager there to also take over some parts of a show to help the guys or whoever you're going to be a manager with. To me, I think that's the biggest part that I did. I love being a valet.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But
well, let me ask you a question, and then you brought up a really good point just now. A really good point. How did the role of valet differ to you from the role of manager? What's the difference in your opinion?
Well, I think just being a valet at the given time to me was almost like candy on an arm. You know, because you got all these clothes and all this fascinating things, you know. But when being a valet to me is like, there really wasn't that much to do with it, and I always want to get involved.
Yeah.
I want to, you know, raise myself up higher because women can.
Oh, absolutely.
Women can do whatever they want to.
Absolutely.
And if you want to go up higher, then you're going to go up higher.
Mr. 8x10 just said, and I put it up on the screen there for a moment. He says the right manager can make all the difference in the world in getting his or her wrestler over. If you even look at the years going by up to now, take, for example, what AEW has done with placing Vicky Guerrero, and that's a whole nother story, placing Vicky Guerrero with someone that she's got that particular wrestler over. Now, first of all, and I agree with him, Vicky could get over a loaf of bread over, okay, just by opening her mouth and saying, "Excuse me."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but she's been doing this a long time. Plus, don't forget she was married to Eddie for all those years. So, and I'm sure she had some influence over him.
Oh, absolutely.
Allan also says women managers help get the men's fans in the seat. That's interesting. That's the first time I've ever heard a worker say that the female managers can get men in the building. I didn't think there was a problem getting men in the building. I always thought there was a problem getting women in the building. So, Amelia,
yes,
you're of the female persuasion. So tell me, what do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, I remember growing up, and my mom used to say, "Oh, look at you! I used to do my hair like Miss Elizabeth, the pretty makeup and things like that." Because I thought, well, the manager, she used to book his flight to make sure that they got there on time, make sure her dresses got there, make sure his costumes got there, and make sure they had a car, and make sure she was the manager. She did that part. She never really got involved. She was just there. But then, as you know, you were saying, you know, of course, nowadays the manager gets involved, and she makes sure that everything's still done, but she can make sure that the wrestler gets his high point in the match, and make sure he gets his highlight, make sure the fans get involved. And if something's going wrong, they make sure, okay, you do this, and this time of the match, and make sure that the fans get going, get them riled up, and course, the guys are going to get in the seats, like you said, and the girls are going to go in there and say, "Oh, I wonder what she's going to do next this time."
Yes.
I would go there just to see
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth and see later on after they got divorced, and when we saw that she was going to get involved in the ring, I was like, "Oh my God, she got involved! And what she's going to do this week?" Especially with Miss Sherry Martel, which I know is your the one that you are following after, and I thought, "Oh my God, what are they going to do now?" And people would get in the seats just to see them two fight.
That's a really unique take on it. I have a question for the captain. And it's a fairly straightforward question, Captain. Are managers even necessary now?
I think it depends on the wrestlers. What I find the people that pair me up with are the guys that might have the ring ability but can't cut promos or talk for themselves. And I'm able to go in and do that and add a level of nastiness to them, you know. And by me cheating and getting the crowd riled up, that goes over to the wrestler and gets him more.
I've been waiting for somebody to say this. The captain said it. Why the fuck are we so afraid to get heat anymore? Why doesn't anybody get heat anymore?
Oh, I try to think of I've thrown hot sauces. I have my own brand of hot sauces. I've thrown hot sauces in the opponent's eyes. I wear this conch shell, and I've clocked a couple people with the conch shell. I know. Funny story about heat. I was a prior character called Captain Mango for a lot of years. And I did a movie called Wrestle Massacre and got to work with Jimmy Valiant and boy, watch, I'm not going to be able to think of all the names now.
Yeah, I know the movie.
Tony Atlas, Rene Dupree, and that's how I got into this. Well, I have a house in Daytona Beach, and Jimmy Hart used to have a bar that got destroyed by a hurricane a couple years ago. I used to go watch Raw and SmackDown whenever I was down there. Nothing like watching Raw and SmackDown on a bar stove next to Jimmy Hart, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I found out I was going to be a manager, I asked Jimmy, I said, "So how do you handle being booed?" Because obviously Captain Mango is a nice guy. You know, everybody loves Captain Mango. And he said, "Baby, let me tell you, every boo you hear is a cheer." He said, "The worst thing is you walk out there and you don't hear anything." He said, managers want to hear boos if you're a heel. They want to hear cheers if you're a good guy. And he said, "Get it any way you can."
And that is what's wrong with today's wrestling product. People are afraid to get heat. They're afraid to be controversial. They're afraid to do their job. That's the problem. They're afraid to do their job. Your job is to get heat. Your job is to have people hate you if you're the heel.
Yeah.
And people love you if you're the face.
And you know, and the thing is, I think
better. Nobody did it better than Bruno Sammartino on the babyface side, and nobody did it better than Superstar Billy Graham on the heel side. Because Superstar could get heat just by looking at you. He didn't have to open his mouth. All he had to do was look at you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I tell people that if you're a heel manager and you don't get the mic in your hand, you can only piss people off one-on-one. If you get that mic in your hand, then you can piss the whole crowd off in a matter of seconds. I don't go for my style of getting heat isn't to I know there's some managers out there that make fun of people and, you know, tell them that they stink and, you know, people from West Virginia have no teeth and, you know, things like that. That's not my style. I'd rather them to hate me for me, you know, for what I do, and not that I'm making fun of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead, Amelia.
Texas. That's what I used to hear all the time. You people, West Texas, don't have no teeth. That's how they used to tell us. Like that's exactly how they used to talk. You people don't have no teeth, and I see this right here. I could have your wife in a minute. See, like that, she would love me more. I was like, oh my God, really? Is that your persona? But the men would go crazy because they were oil field men. And you're not gonna touch my wife, and they'd take off their cap. I mean, that's how they would talk. You're not gonna touch my wife. Oh yeah, you're gonna come at me. And that's their accent. Because back Texas country stuff, and would get going, and of course, they would just say, "Come on, you want to fight me? Come on, man!" And you could see their tobacco coming out of their mouth. I'm like, because
I haven't seen her this talkative in a long time. So you guys brought something out of her. I'm with Brenda.
Yeah.
Chime in, kids. Chime in.
What would be your best comeback line as far as a manager? Either one. Like if somebody to get the crowd going.
My best comeback line.
Like if I was to tell you, oh yeah, you're not good as a manager. Come on, get out of the ring or something like that. If somebody says to you.
Well, I have had that done more than once, and I've been told literally, "You're a bitch. You need to get out of the ring." And never
I
come
would have
back.
said
And I
you go
turned.
back home and make some cookies for me.
I
I
say,
turned right around and look at him.
I would have got heat with you. Go
I'm
bake
here
some
to
cookies.
stay, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Go pop
See you
out
the next
babies.
day. And they really don't like that too well. You know, you get some that are some are nice and some are not so nice. And like I told him, I said, listen, I'm here to stay. You can't stop me
Allan Decker
either
is
watch
relating
me
a story.
or not watch me.
Your guy, Mr. 8x10, is relating a story about heat. He says, I draped the real American flag over top of the body of a wrestler named American Eagle, and literally 100 to 150 people there witnessed that one guy, a military veteran, wanted to actually shoot me.
oh,
That, my friend, is called heat. That's real heat.
oh yeah, especially in Texas, that would have been.
And I will vouch for a story like that. I saw this happen here in New Jersey. And in fact, the guy got banned for a year for doing it. He was legitimately an Arab, a legitimate Arab from the Sinai Peninsula. Okay, but he was living here in the state. He came out with a turban, with his garb, wearing a U.S. Air Force jacket, and proceeded to tell everyone how he took this jacket off the dead body of an airman. That went over like a fucking lead balloon. Let me tell you something. That place wanted to kill that sucker. I mean, literally wanted to kill him. They had to have him escorted out of the building by the Atlantic City Police Department.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm serious. The police had to come to the show and get him out of the building. They wanted to kill him. When you storm the dressing room of a show and you ain't letting nothing, there's more of them than there is of you, you better get the hell out of that building.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. They got that some bitch up there bad. I mean, really bad.
Especially if you did that American Legion Hall, that would have really not been over very well.
Oh, I'm telling you what, man. I'm telling you, this luckily, this was not an American Legion Hall. Thankful. Grateful for that.
Yeah.
So, Captain, where did the name Captain Capitate come from?
I tell you before I answer this, there's some feedback coming from. It sounds like from your end when you talk. Well, no, actually, it's there when I talk too. Can anybody else hear it?
Yes, there's a lot of feedback on it.
Yeah, it's like a buzzing sound.
Yes.
I can't hear you now. Can't hear you.
No, I can't hear him at all now. But the buzzing noise is
I got you.
there.
I got it. Can you hear me, Amelia?
Now it's perfect now.
Okay. Well, the buzzing sound's coming from Amelia's end. I'll tell you that. It sure is. Other than that, let me see. We should be okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's talk about this for a second. Before I go there, where did Captain Capitate come from?
Well, that's a funny story too. When I did Wrestle Massacre, I met a guy named Brian Fox from Outbreak Wrestling up in Hamburg, and talked to him and told him, that how much of a fan I was of professional wrestling, and I'd love to be involved, but I'm too old and never been athletic enough to think about being a professional wrestler. I said, I'd love to try being a manager. So I showed him my pirate persona, which was Captain Mango. And he said, well, we'll give you a shot. He said, but we need a deal. And I said, well, I can't make Captain Mango a shot because he's already an established character, Yeah. So the actual name I wanted to come up with, I belong to a pirate crew down in Florida called the Leviathan. And the captain of the Leviathan, his pirate nickname is Craven Wolf. And so what I wanted was I wanted to make my name Craven More Blood. But I thought maybe it'd be best to run it by him, And he was like, I'd like to be the only Craven. He goes, let's brainstorm here. So we brainstormed for about 2 minutes and came up with Captain Capitate. I tell him every time we're together, I still would have liked Craven More Blood. But
I'll tell you what. And how about you, Brenda? Where did the Miss Mystique Martel come from?
Well, I've always liked her as an idol, and I ended up getting to know her real son, Derek Gonzalez, and we become pretty good friends. And now I literally got to, I asked him first because, as I'm not no relation to them. Right. And I was telling him about my character name. And you know what? He gave me his blessings. That I was able to go ahead and get it. And once I did, I own it. I have full rights over every bit of it. It's copyrighted. And beautiful. I absolutely adored her.
Do you know Kathy Fitzpatrick?
I do not know who that is, no.
That was Sherry's best friend in the whole world.
Oh, wow.
And she lives across the street right now. So you actually copyrighted that. That's interesting. I didn't think you could copyright somebody else's name.
Yeah, I copyrighted the Martel. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You did? And yes. How'd you do that?
Well, I also had to go through her son, which I also own her memorial page as well. So I also run that too. And I was able to go through him for the copywriting of his mom's, yes, the Martel.
Okay. That's interesting. I want to do some research on that. Yes. I'll tell you what, can you guys come back Thursday night with me? Can we do a part 2?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Finally, that noise went away.
Headsets.
Yeah, it was a
whatever she did. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw it when your hand was up there, then it went away right then.
Yeah. And so I knew exactly where it was coming from, and so I couldn't fix it here. It had to be Amelia.
Yeah.
Can we do this again Thursday? We're good?
That would be so awesome. I would love
I'll tell you what, I'd like to do this part 2 on Thursday and I want Brenda, I want you to bring Allan with you Thursday because we're going to bring him here. Okay.
Okay.
And Captain, you can bring one of your Hollywood honeys with you if you like to.
I'll see what I can do. Not a lot of them live real close to him, but I might be able to bring one.
All right, beautiful. So I'll tell you what, Amelia, we're going to We're going to this. Man, that was a fast hour. Holy shit!
I know, right?
Oh man, an hour was already.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah.
yeah. No shit.
I know,
That
because
was
it's
an
like
hour,
we were
man.
just talking about a lot of different things, and I know there's more that we
Yeah.
want to talk about.
Well, what I want you guys to do before we head out is give your social, your emails, where people can reach you and how they can see you wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brenda, you go first. Ladies always first.
April 23rd at WVW and LPW. That is our comeback show with Bill Alfonso at the Dill Center in Parkersburg, West Virginia at 7 o'clock. That's our
Okay,
very first show with Bill Alfonso.
And where can people reach you? Oh, Bill's a great guy too.
Yes.
And where can people reach you on social media? And how can they contact you?
They can contact me through my Facebook, through my messenger. My number is on my messenger thing as well. I've already got my phone number in there. Feel free to give me a call. Do you have any
Terrific.
messages? Yeah.
Beautiful. And Captain Decapitate. My
Okay,
friend,
on
Pirate,
on
where can
so-
people reach you and how can they contact you?
Okay, on social media, I had a page for Captain Decapitate, Captain Mango, Jesse L. Green. I got locked out of all of them. Haven't been figured out how to get in. I didn't get hacked. I just can't figure out how to get back in. So I had to set up a page just called Jesse Green right now,
Okay.
and that's on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as Captain Decapitate. Those are the best ways. Same way, my phone number is on my Facebook. I have nothing to hide. If I don't want to talk to you, I won't answer the phone.
There you
simple
go.
as that.
There you go.
That's
That's a
me.
man after my own heart. Amelia, how can people reach you? Amelia Pitbull Chapman.
Amelia Valerio Chapman on Facebook, or of course, emails aachap70@gmail. We also have an Instagram. It's WWTF, and of course, it's under Talk is Cheap as well. Of course, here with you on Tuesdays and Thursday nights.
And if you want one of those fabulous Wrestling with the Future t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
that Amelia is sporting right now, you can contact me
Yes.
at Wrestling with the Future.
Yes, right
There
there.
you go. There's the shirt.
Very, very nice.
Thank
It's
you.
really
Incredible
nice.
shirt.
I
We
like
love
it.
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
he's
this. I got my own slam buddy.
He's
Oh,
got.
got
that's
his slam
cute.
It's like seeing two of me.
Well, we're gonna have to put a link up for that. That's.
And I'd like to talk
great.
more makeup, please.
Yeah.
You can reach me at wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com for one of those great shirts. State your size. Don't send any money because I don't need your money. We're just going to send you a shirt. Okay. So, and where can they get one of those play buddies there, bud?
Again, through Facebook. My social media, I don't know what happened. I changed
Okay.
phone companies, and it all went to hell when that happened.
If you
And I'm
want
still-
the miniature captain, hit up the captain. If you can't reach the captain, hit me up at the show, and I will reach out to the captain. We'll get you one of those. We'll make it happen for you.
Slam buddies,
And
they're numbered for 1 of 100. That's so people can buy this one, and then when they're sold out, I'll come up with a second edition. And anybody that's
There you
got
go.
this one is going to want the second edition.
Absolutely,
the
man.
third
A
edition.
collectible series. Absolutely.
That's right, the whole series. I think what I'm going to do on the next thing, because I've got this horseshoe nose ring,
Yeah,
I'm going to get a mini one and actually put a nose ring in each one.
I love it. I love it. And you can reach me at Mad Dog DeCipio on Twitter, on Facebook at Mad Dog DeCipio, at Talk is Cheap, at Wrestling with the Future. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Vimeo, YouTube, NewTube. We're
TikTok.
on TikTok, yes, Instagram,
Mhm.
and wherever the hell Amelia has.
Whatever else we have.
Yeah. But for Brenda, for Captain Capitate, for Amelia, I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time, Thursday night. With
Be here
Mr.
Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Thursday
Thursday
night.
night.
Thursday, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thursday?
Thursday night.
Thursday
Okay.
night.
Yeah. I'll be here. So will
Me
you guys.
too.
Along with Mr. 8x10. Whatever I said, there you go. Oh, bye-bye.
Mhm.